Jeremy when it's time to go. Don't go yet.
Welcome back to IGN's News, Games, and More, where we talk about news, games, and more. On today's show, we're going to be discussing Taika Waititi's Thor, Love and Thunder live stream. We're going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII on PC. We're going to be talking about Dead Island 2, if you can believe it. I thought that game was dead, but apparently it's undead. We're going to be talking about Animal Crossing being banned in China, and we're going to be talking about more stuff. But to begin with, I think we should go around and introduce ourselves. I'm your pal Jeremy.
God, I feel like we're back in high school. I'm Stella.
Cool.
And I'm Joshua, and I'm not your friend.
You might be by the end of the show.
And I'm Destin.
Those are some hot intros. Great energy today, everybody.
Yeah, why did you fade out?
What? I've been on every Friday episode since we started this show. Introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Actually, we should be introducing Joshua, if anything. IGN
if you guys don't know
staple
Joshua,
Joshua, yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys know about me? Let's go around in a circle.
So I wanted to have Joshua on today because Joshua is one of my favorite people to talk to about comic books. And I want to really dive into this Thor, Love and Thunder thing a lot today on the show. I'm really pumped for that movie. I know Joshua is too, right, Josh?
I'm super hyped. If you can tell by the statue I have right above my hand here, that's a statue of Jane Foster as Thor. Jeremy didn't even know I had that back there, but it's very apt because that will be a character in the new movie, and there's a lot that Taika revealed.
Well, do you want to start there?
Joshua, no, I do want to talk about Final Fantasy first, and then we'll get to it.
How much have you drank?
Huh?
How much did you drink before the show?
Look,
This is so not Jeremy.
I know. I see.
Jeremy's succumbing to cabin fever. I'm now in the third act of The Shining. Anyway, speaking of Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer,
Yeah, what about it?
Square Enix released a video to commemorate the launch of Final Fantasy VII Remake that hinted towards a potential PC release, which I think that we have heard inklings of before. And in fact,
that would have been a great asset to pull, but you told me to pull this. So here's some combat tips,
my
everybody.
God.
I just want to show the game, man. But yeah, that's a great point.
God damn it.
Things are going great. Anyways, on the trailer, there is text that appears on the screen that says gameplay captured on PC. I don't think it's a mystery to any of us that this was going to end up on PC. It's just a question of when. And the fact that we're seeing footage that was captured on PC already when the game just came out is pretty interesting because if I'm not mistaken, it is a timed exclusive until April of 2021. So that's like quite some time away. I think based on this, we can probably surmise that this is for sure going to happen on time, barring any sort of like act of God or anything. Did you guys see this trailer? Have you guys played Final Fantasy VII? What are your thoughts about it being on PC?
I've not played it, but honestly, if it came out on PC, I would be inclined to try it out because I think it looks gorgeous. And I never played the original, so I feel like it'd be a good way for me to experience it.
And still, you're more of a PC gamer generally, is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind playing on console, but PC is just more accessible to me. So.
Yeah.
Here's the proper asset, Jeremy. I got your back.
I was like, why is
There
Destiny
we
smiling?
go.
I just saw him smiling. I was like, something's going on.
Yeah, so right at the beginning of the asset, it does say captured on PC. Not very subtle. I would absolutely also, to echo Stella's sentiment, definitely want to play on PC if I could. I prefer to play on PC. I'm still going to play it on PS4, though. Like, I'm actually excited to dive in this weekend and start playing it because I didn't get early access or anything. So, yeah, stoked to dive in. Joshua, do you play Final Fantasy? You know the series?
You know, I thought I was going to be able to dodge having to answer that question just by being quiet. But now is where I have to admit I've never played a Final Fantasy ever. Just because, like, there's so many, like, huge franchises out there, and you can't be a fan of all of them. So some I've just passed on my whole life, like Final Fantasy, Doctor Who, you know, Parks and Rec. Like, I'm good. I have enough.
I'm with you on
so-
Doctor Who. I don't touch that stuff.
Parks
Yeah.
and Rec though.
It's too much.
You know, I heard it's great. It's not that I don't like these things or think that they're like bad or anything. It's just I don't have enough time. Look, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. That takes up a lot of brain space. I only have room for so
Yeah.
much.
This is okay. See,
Brooklyn
this is the-
Nine-Nine is my Parks
that's
and
good
Rec that I just can't make time for.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, all right. We're gonna move on.
But if someone wants to sell me on Final Fantasy VII, is like I should totally play this, then I'll give it a shot. I'll break
Honestly,
the
dude,
seal.
like if you are not like a JRPG guy from the '90s, I think this is gonna seem pretty incomprehensible to you. I mean, look at this trailer; it's just bonkers. It's a style of game that just isn't really that prevalent right now, and
Josh's face.
outside of the nostalgia element, I don't really see like a lot of like teens being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go spend my money on Final Fantasy VII. Like they're not gonna like put Apex and Valorant and all that other stuff down and go do
But
this.
that's different. That's like a completely different category of gamers, though. So you can't really say that those people won't go and try this game. I mean,
Sure, but the majority of, I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of school here, but the majority of like really successful RPGs in the last 10 years have not been so much in the JRPG space. In fact, I recently just worked with Mitchell and Dan Stapleton and a few other people, Nick Lamone, on a list of the best modern RPGs. And, as far as JRPGs are concerned, we really only have like Dragon Quest on there and maybe Persona 5. But the rest were all very much in the realm of Witcher, Fallout, Skyrim, the Bethesda stuff, CD Projekt Red, a few of the CRPGs like Divinity 2. But it's a style. This is a style of game that is just like very rooted in a different era. And it's really great to see it coming back and see more people experiencing that. Like, I love that. But I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot about it that I think would be weird to step into as a new player.
Joshua, play Final Fantasy VII. The remake looks excellent. The remake looks excellent. They revamped the combat system. Do you like RPGs generally? Or is it a genre
if
that
it's
you don't
good,
like?
you know what? I'll play any kind of game, like a shooter, a puzzle game, RPG, if it's like a great game. So if this is great, I'm on board.
I mean, there's a free demo out, so you can literally just try it out and then continue from there if you're digging it.
That's true.
Or
That's
if
a
you're
great
not,
point.
just bail on it. So, if you're a new player, just try the free version of it. And if that's your jam, then keep playing, And if it's not, then don't. I don't like every battle royale on the market, so I don't play the ones I don't like. I don't
which
like.
ones don't you like?
Fortnite, I kind of fell off on. Like, I don't really play Fortnite anymore. Really like Apex still. I actually kind of came around on Call of Duty, but then they got rid of trios, and now it's squads of 4, and that's just not my jam. But
There's rumors going around that they're going to bring trios back. We've seen that story.
They probably will. Like,
yeah,
I think it's the perfect group size, and that's part of the reason why I was enjoying it so much. 4, it's just too much. I think 3 is a really good number for squads. So do we sell you, Joshua? Are you going to download it and play it?
Well, do I get to play as that like anime boy with supersonic hair and a Monster Hunter sword?
He is the main
every
character.
boy is an anime boy.
God,
in
are you
Final
kidding?
Fantasy VII?
He is the
Or
main
any Final
character.
Fantasy game.
His name is Cloud, and he is wonderful.
I feel like even
And
if you don't play,
he's like broody, sort of. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
He's like a silent protagonist type. You just project yourself upon him, essentially.
Okay.
Personally, like here's where I'm at with it. I loved the original game. I loved it. I played it to the absolute like maximum. I squeezed every drop of materia from that son of a bitch. I just played it to
Swear
death.
jar.
I want to wait for the PC version. Like, I'm excited that it's coming out on PC. I don't really want to play it. I don't want to play it straight. Like, I don't want to do it on console. I want to do it modded. All to hell.
Now,
I want to take
You
everything.
really got into
everything.
mods.
Yeah, dude. Like, here's the thing. Like, I play a lot of RPGs, and RPGs are a big commitment. Like, we're talking about like in this case maybe 40 hours, but in some other cases 100 hours plus. if you're going to, with all of the other awesome games you could be playing right now, like we're in like a cultural renaissance of gaming on Steam. There's so many crazy games. There's so many cool experiences that you could be having. There's so many franchises that you can't possibly even begin to have touched. To go back and play a 40 or 100-hour game, like the same game that you've already experienced again, to me, feels like kind of a waste of time unless you're going to do it through a totally different lens. I understand that a remake is a different lens, but if the story and the gameplay are pretty similar, like I want to like take it to the next level, and I want to play as Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know?
So
and I want to remove all of the tedious stuff
Okay.
from it. Like I don't want to, I want to breeze right through it and have a weird time and a good time and like have a little bit of nostalgia, but a little bit of something new that some crazy ass modder made.
So then how did you feel about the Resident Evil 3 remake? Like, did you play the original and then play this one? Because I hear that I think they were similar but different enough that it felt like a new game.
I haven't played the third one yet. I didn't love the third one as a kid. I really liked the second one and I really liked the fourth one. But the third one felt like a weird like middle child between those two because those are two of my favorite games of all time, and the third one just is not on their level, and so I don't have a ton of interest in playing that, especially with it being so short.
Okay.
A lot of people said it's very short.
I mean, I kind of like that just because I don't like horror games, but also I liked the story because it was short and sweet. It was really nice. You could get through it in like 2 days. I don't know.
I loved the second one. I played through the second one like 2 or 3 times. Mm-hmm. You're obviously incentivized to play it over and over again.
Yeah.
And for me, it really worked, like seeing it in a new way. But it also had those sort of tanky controls that the older games have, and I actually kind of prefer Resident Evil 4's playstyle. I even liked Resident Evil 5.
I can't remember what those ones were or which ones those ones were. I don't really play.
So four is the one that really kind of redefined like a shooter in a survival horror setting.
Okay.
And 5 was like very actiony, but not so much as 6. 7 was the one that really kind of returned to form as like a kind of a scary game, but from a first person perspective, which was also cool. I'd like to see them go there next.
I tried to play that and it made me really motion sick. Like it wasn't even in VR and it just made me really motion sick. Like I couldn't play it. Also, I want to point out, Josh, you have a huge glass of beer.
Something's got to get me through the Final Fantasy talk. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you guys aren't even talking about Final Fantasy. You're talking about Resident Evil.
Fine,
so
fine.
I want to bring it back to Final Fantasy really quick and just say, what if this is just footage of the dev build running on a PC, so they labeled it as to not mislead their audience, sort of like our news story says? What if that's
why do you gotta suck all the fun out of the room, Destin?
Well, we already know that a lot of PlayStation exclusive games have been making their way to PC. Horizon Zero Dawn recently announced that it would be getting a PC release. I think if this does happen, it's like a year out. And I think this trailer specifically was only to say, hey, this is from our dev build on PC, so as people aren't misled as to think that there's a PC version coming really, really soon. Too logical?
Justin, we don't deal in logic on the Friday shows. On the Friday shows, we drink goose juice and we talk about rumors and speculations and spurious accusations.
Okay. For an accusation, did you see that Kotaku wrote an article saying that combat in Final Fantasy VII Remake, the easy mode is too easy? Boy. I know that's not one of the topics that we had, but I just wanted to throw that in there because
I don't want to dunk on them too hard.
Nobody could ever dunk on us for doing anything similar.
Yeah, I mean, we get dunked on for that kind of stuff. The reason why they're getting cyberbullied for that is because they have written like 15 articles about how hard modes are too hard, and they're like, this easy mode's too easy. I don't know. Like,
I think everyone's reading into that headline. I really don't think we should dunk on them because we've done similar stuff where we sort of have two contrasting opinions from different writers, by the way, which is what Kotaku is dealing with also. And it's actually a challenge that we deal with. So beyond saying that, yeah, that's kind of funny, we should probably avoid taking that gut shot.
I wasn't saying that we should dunk on him, but or them, but I was just saying like Jeremy brought up that he wants to just like enjoy a game. So I just wanted to talk about that easy mode being there for people who don't necessarily want to really figure out combat. Like I really do not like turn-based combat. So for me, that would be like perfect. Because if it's easy for me to figure out, then great,
You
cool.
know, they
let's
do
that.
remastered editions of RPGs all the time where they scale back on the amount of like combat instances that you run into, because sometimes they'll just be like, everybody thought this was too tedious. Skies of Arcadia is a great example. They just like scaled way the hell back on that when they re-released that game.
Okay.
I think Last of Us did a cinematic mode or like a similar mode where you could just basically breeze through it. And you have to remember there are people that have accessibility concerns who, greatly profit from being able to experience these games from those extra easy modes. So has anybody played the remake yet in this group? I'm going to download it tonight and play over the weekend, I think.
I'm definitely waiting for PC, especially since I now know that it's for sure coming in April 2021. Right?
I don't know. You think
Am
next
I right?
year?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, next year. No, you know what? Fall.
Yeah.
I think it's coming in the fall.
Yeah, look,
think so?
Kotaku is just running afoul of exactly what you said. One writer says one thing, another writer says another thing, and people go, "Oh, Kotaku is one thing." It isn't. We get that even in like individual videos. We posted an Animal Crossing video where it's like a bunch of different people saying, "I like this, I didn't like this," and they're like, "That seems like these things conflict with each other." And we're like, "Yeah, because it's different people." Jesus Christ, like what's not clear about that? But it happens. People want different experiences out of games. I recently did a mod video on Witcher 3, which is another one that I played to hell and back. Like I'm pretty sure I like did every single quest in that game, like every single one, and it took forever. And after watching the show and reading the books and everything, I just wanted to play it again really bad, but I didn't want to do it on Switch, And so I put like 50 mods into it on PC just to like eliminate anything that I didn't want to do or that I thought was tedious or like stop me from the parts that I enjoy, and the parts that I enjoy are maybe different from the other parts that other people enjoy. And some people were like, "Oh, you like took this thing out." I'm like, whatever. It's like everybody gets something different out of it. And I think people should be okay with that. Right. Like, understand that like people like appreciate games and media and art and stuff in different ways, and they're going to approach it from different directions. So if you want to play it on easy mode, or if you need accessibility or something like that, then of course there should be easy modes and there should be hard modes for people that want to challenge. And I don't know why everybody's so like spun up about it.
I mean, I think I do get that aspect of it. When you see like 3 different headlines that keep going back and forth and you put them all together in a GIF and then share that on Twitter, I can understand why socially that caught on really easily. But just for context, like we deal with that challenge all the time at IGN. Oh, you gave this game a lower score than Call of Duty 7 or whatever. It's just like such a weird conversation. Well, I get where it comes from, and it's definitely something that we struggle with also and try and solve for. So just seeing Kotaku going through that today, I'm just like, oof, been there, man. And even like one of the top comments was actually an IGN jab right below that.
Oh no.
Yeah. The water joke, was
God,
brought
yeah.
up for sure. So yeah. But
I
anyway,
get that in real life too. I wasn't even at IGN when that thing came out. It's just so funny.
yeah, it just sort of caught on. Whatever. Anyway, that's a peek behind the curtain about what happens at IGN, what happens at bigger companies that have different challenges than if you're like a solo content creator. Like it's way different when Stella goes home and streams after work because she's just Stella doing her thing versus adding a piece to the content that we create on IGN.
Yeah, it's also tough when you have like a bunch of different parts, like the social media and like the video and the editorial and all this kind of stuff. Like it's pretty big and it operates on a bunch of different wavelengths. I've worked on, solo stuff in like smaller groups before, and that's just so much easier to like maintain a style and tone. And the more people there are, the more varied the voices are. And I think people just have like a hard time, differentiating like individual voices as a collective from like just a brand, just like this is the brand. And it's something that we struggle with and Kotaku struggles with. And
There are benefits, though, Jeremy. Fortune brings up a great one. I've always hoped you guys would play into it more and do multiple person reviews like EGM Days But Better. That's something we talk about and are considering, actually. We did a roundup for Star Wars, the game, I believe was one of the first ones we've done because I contributed to that one. And I know we've done a few since then. So that's one example. And we have excellent collaborators who work with us in other places like LA who know everything there is to know about comics, like Joshua Yale for the next story.
Wait, I just want to bring up like one more point based on what you just said. We actually wanted to do
what a transition!
Wait, but let me just throw this out there.
Go back on the transition. Save it
we wanted to do a multi-review on Doom and Animal Crossing, but everybody loved Doom and Animal Crossing so much that it was impossible to do. There was like nobody that was willing to go on record and be like, I don't like Doom. Like we couldn't even do like the things we like and things we didn't like on that one. We did one for Animal Crossing, but that's like as much as it got. For stuff that is like a little bit more where people are more split on it, then you're likely to see more multi-reviews on the website. But you're also likely to see right now us talking about Thor, Love and Thunder.
Destin's segue was better.
It was. Look, we got a lot of time to fill, and we only have like 6 stories. So what do you want from me, Stella? Joshua, do you want me to give the bullet points on this story?
Tee it up.
Okay, so Taika Waititi went on Instagram. Do I have this right?
Yes, he's the director of Thor Ragnarok.
Maybe Joshua should do it.
Live watch party. He basically wanted to he went on to do a live watch party of Ragnarok on his personal account, and this happened yesterday. And he sort of like answered or dodged or kind of like outright lied about a lot of stuff. He put out a lot of misinformation, but he also put out a few tidbits of actual information about Love and Thunder. And I love this guy. He's so funny. Like, did you guys see Jojo Rabbit?
Yeah.
No, I want to see it though.
Still good.
The great thing about Taika is that he is a performer as much as he is a creator and a director, and I think that's part of why his take on the Thor franchise works so well. Is I think he understands the sort of the fandom of it and also the sort of like what's funny about it and what's cool about it, and how to like combine that imagery in a way that is really enjoyable in movie form. Whereas other directors, I think, have struggled with that a little bit. The first 2 Thor movies are, in my opinion, great, but most people are not big fans of the second one. So he talked a little bit about the Silver Surfer. He talked about Better Ray Bill. He talked about some Easter eggs that you see in Ragnarok in a little bit more detail than we've usually seen in the past. And he talks about some of the new characters and what's going to happen a little bit in the new movie. But I wanted to give it over to Joshua to sort of provide a little bit of context about what were the most important takeaways from this presentation that he had.
Right. Well, with a bunch of creators and directors and such going online and using the fact that we're all kind of stuck under quarantine to do live streams from home, Taika Waititi decided to do a Thor live stream watch along where he would give essentially like a director's commentary. As far as I'm concerned, that was just all a ruse so we could troll people, right? Like nothing legitimate really came out of this, and he did drop things that some people thought were hints and clues, but he could just be messing with us. So keep all that in mind. The way Laura Prudhomme, who wrote our report on this live stream, she described Taika Waititi as 80% troll and 20% pure chaos demon, right? That is very true. And halfway through the watch along, it only made it, I think, an hour and a half in to the movie, and it stopped because he was done, right? Like it didn't even exist to actually comment on the movie because it kept like going off the rails, and he like brought in like guests and stuff, and he started like answering fan questions and was just like giving like the craziest, weirdest answers. So again, just putting things into context, because yeah, he did, he like, for example, someone's like, hey, is Loki going to be in Thor 4, like Thor Love and Thunder? And he's like, well, I can't say. So who knows, because Loki died in Infinity War, right? But we know an alternate timeline version is getting his own TV show, which means he could come back into play. So who knows what the state of Marvel Phase 4 will be by then.
People don't die in comic books. We all know this.
Right. Yeah. So he did mention Silver Surfer. That's because somebody asked if Silver Surfer would be in the film, because now that all of Fantastic Four
straight up said no, right?
Yeah, he was like, nope, nah.
That sucks.
Beta
I
Ray
want
Bill.
Fantastic Four back in the MCU.
But how do you know
right
he
now.
wasn't just playing you when he said no?
So
we don't know, but it's like it's a stretch. Like it would happen in a Fantastic Four movie if it was going to happen. Right.
I think they're saving Silver Surfer for a Fantastic Four movie where like Galactus shows up. At one point, there was a Silver Surfer solo movie in development, so I think they know that character has a lot of star power and could get his own thing later down the line. But yeah, he mentioned
Galactus would be interesting because they chickened out on doing Galactus in the previous version of the Fantastic Four movies and had him be like a cloud or something. But like in Guardians, they're just like, they're just like, what do you call the
Eternals the Celestials?
Yeah, the Celestials. They're like, just Celestials are here, and we've got a base like built into the decapitated head of one. So if you can have a Celestial and you can have Ego, the living planet, for Christ's sake, then you can have Galactus as he's meant to be, which makes Silver Surfer also make a lot more sense, right?
Yeah.
Somebody in chat said that Taika made Thor a clown. I never liked Thor as a character in the comic books growing up. I've followed the Avengers and the X-Men and everything, and Thor just never resonated with me. Only 2 times has a story about Thor really made me care. Garth Ennis, where he basically broke him and made him, actually earn his power. And largely that's what happened with the MCU storyline with Thor, and they made him more lovable as a character. I think Taika, I absolutely disagree with this particular commenter. I think Taika just did an excellent job of making Thor super likable, more like somebody that you would talk to and like resonate with, I guess. Do you guys feel the same way about that?
I agree 100%. Like the thing that I always thought was funny about Thor is that he has this like old timey speech and mannerism thing that is like kind of ridiculous in a modern time, but he like won't let go of it. And also he's sort of like a beneficiary of nepotism, and so he's a little bit of a prick. So imagine like a really like powerful, good-looking, nepotistic prick who is basically inheriting a whole kingdom, but is also kind of an idiot, like, but also like not a bad guy and sort of fun. Like there's so much like nuance to that, and you could tell that from a performance perspective, Taika was able to get like a way more engaged performance in Ragnarok than we had seen in the previous movies. Like that is undeniable, I think.
How do you feel about all that, Joshua?
Well, here's the thing. I do agree with the commenter to an extent in that I think in an effort to make Thor more likable and essentially reinvent the character in Ragnarok, they did make him very silly and funny and kind of more unpredictable, and not just sort of this more stoic guy who speaks like a Shakespearean character. I do think sometimes they maybe turn the dial a little too much, made him a little too silly, like where he like picks something off of Hulk's shelf and like falls over, and he's like, oh, oops, sorry, and he's like trying to put it back. He's like super clumsy. Like Thor's not clumsy though, right? So, and then especially at the end where like Asgard explodes, and then this isn't Thor, but like Korg makes like a joke, and that's supposed to be like a really powerful moment. Like Thor loses his home, and they just like crack a joke. Like so, sometimes I think they go a little too far in Ragnarok. This isn't to say I don't like Ragnarok. Ragnarok is amazing, one of the best MCU movies. I love how they reinvented Thor and everything, but I think that they did make him a little too clownish at times. But I'll say this, in Infinity War, when the Russos got a hold of him, they have a great sense of humor, and they still kept that new, fresh Thor personality in that movie, but they toned it down a little bit and made it more serious, and as they sent him on this like epic quest where he's essentially lost everything. So I thought, going forward, like now that they've kind of find the right balance of Thor, he's in a great spot.
Yeah, for sure. And sorry to interrupt you. I wanted to address that really quick.
Yeah, how dare you? I was talking about Beta Ray Bill. Okay.
Was there any?
Beta Ray Bill actually got an interesting response because he wasn't just like, nope. Beta Ray Bill, or at least someone of his race, was a statue on the side of a building, essentially,
That's right.
in Thor Ragnarok. So a little Easter egg there, showing that,
What were some
Taika
of
Waititi
the
had
other
said,
statues? Joshua, do you remember? There was Beta Ray Bill, and there was like 3 or 4 others.
Beta
right?
Ray Bill. What's Beta?
Why don't you keep saying it like that? You're right. Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray Bill was like who else was on that thing? Do you remember?
I don't know.
Was it
Stop interrupting. I'm
Abomination?
getting to the good part.
I'm looking this
Taika
up right now.
Waititi
You keep
has said
talking.
he's
I'm
a
gonna look it up.
fan of Beta Ray Bill in the past, and now he said when he was asked about him in this live stream, he didn't just say no, he's not going to be in it. He was like, well, to quote, he said, "You're not sure how to answer that. I don't want to tease. I don't want to give anything away. It would be awesome to have him in the film, but I just don't know right now. It's up in the air." So I think they're still deciding whether they're going to bring him into the movie and how they would utilize him. So I think that's a really cool thing because he is a fan favorite character. And for those who don't know, he's this weird horse face alien, and he like shows up in the comics and like proves himself to be just as worthy of Thor. And Odin makes him a copy of Mjolnir called Stormbreaker, which is funny that Thor's current hammer axe thing is called Stormbreaker. Anyways, so there actually is sort of a precedent for him. Like maybe if Mjolnir comes back and Thor gets that, then Beta Ray Bill could wield the leftover Stormbreaker instead of putting it in the closet.
So the faces in the collector's tower.
Cool. I was listening to Joshua.
There's so much. Yeah.
Fin
There's
Fang
so much to
Foom,
take in.
By Beast, Ares, Beta Ray Bill,
What? Jeremy.
and Man Thing. How cool is that?
Oh, Man-Thing's in there?
Yeah. Man Thing is the one that's like the most obvious. It's kind of like up top middle. Ares, I think, is almost second most obvious, and Ares would make a lot of sense to show up in the future movies as well as Hercules. Fin Fang Foom is a little bit of a deep cut.
I think though that list is like someone's guesses. We should say that. It's never been confirmed. I don't think that those are exactly who those characters.
I'm looking at the damn picture of it right now, man. I don't know what else it could be.
I mean, I've seen it, and I don't necessarily see Ares in there. It could just be a dude in that helmet.
Yeah, all crazy.
Stella, you've been respectfully quiet, not interrupting anybody. Thank you. What do you think about the whole Thor storyline?
I mean, I didn't know most of it because Joshua was there explaining it. I was also just listening and taking it all in because I didn't realize there was so much to the background and like the future of this storyline. I was telling Josh off the air, like I really wish I could get into comics, but apparently the story, like the comic books, are pretty linear, which is nice. It doesn't like spread out into different forked paths, so I don't need to like chase down different comic books. I really liked Thor. Honestly, the first Thor movie I saw was Ragnarok, and then I saw the first movie. And I think the last Ragnarok was definitely the best one, in my opinion.
Yeah, if anybody's sitting there going like, I wish Thor was played more serious, go back and watch that first movie and then get back to me and tell me if you liked that.
Yeah, I found myself skipping through certain parts.
It's too one-dimensional.
Yeah, also he was such a jerk in the beginning. I was just like, oh my god, this is who he was? It was really weird to go from Ragnarok to the first one. So I don't know. But I like his character now. He's great.
If the god of your entire kingdom was your dad, you'd probably be kind of a jerk too. He's like totally like a do you know who my dad is kind of guy. Is the thing about Thor.
Why does poor Natalie Portman keep getting cast with fixer-upper guys like in the Star Wars movies and in the Thor movies? Like this big dummy.
Well, hopefully now she doesn't have to take care of anybody in Thor: Love and Thunder, and she can just do her own thing as the goddess of thunder when she gets Mjolnir. Well, I don't know how they're going to get Mjolnir back, or if they're going to find some other way to transform her, but I've been thinking about it a lot. Let me tell you.
I was gonna say,
Hela smashed it, right? Like it's destroyed, isn't it?
Yes.
Hela.
Okay.
Josh, do you have a theory on how this might happen?
Yeah, how are they going to put it back together?
So here's the thing. We met a Peter Dinklage's character in Infinity War who has a the dwarven smith, the forge, and then the pieces of Mjolnir are still around. So if the enchantment that Odin put on it stuck, then those would still be magical pieces, and they could bring it to him and make a new hammer. My theory is that Thor will do that, and then he won't be able to lift it, and then it'll be like, wait, what the heck?
Is he still in play? He didn't go down with the ship or anything?
He didn't die or anything.
I mean, I think they just left him there.
So my theory is that Thor will reforge Mjolnir, and then he won't be able to lift it, and then it'll be because the idea of Thor has moved on and it's become something else beyond him. Like his role is to be king. So I think they'll want to be like a new god of thunder to take that role in the universe. And I think it'll belong to Jane Foster, and then she'll pick it up and get a cool, hat, armor thing and blonde hair and go flying around and beat people up.
The Odin Force is going to be like, I didn't like how goofy you were in those last couple of movies, and so you are no longer worthy.
Oh man, so he's not going to be able to lift his hammer, and they're going to be like, "Hey, you got to call up your ex and tell her because like she's the chosen one or whatever."
How does she end up? How does she end up on like the forge on the moon or something? Because also like, okay, here's a question. If Peter Dinklage, right, his dwarf character, he's a giant dwarf, right? Like that's kind of weird. A giant dwarf. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're like, here's a twist. Yeah, on dwarves for the MCU, they're just really big.
If he himself makes the hammer and then like takes the hammer and sets it down, is he worthy?
Oh God.
Or does it like? Or does
oh
he finish
my God.
it and then it becomes like? I'm confused about how that works. Like, how can you even like make it if you're not?
I don't know. There's nothing to base this theory on. I'm just trying to connect the dots of what already exists in the MCU because it's so far away from where the comics are. So I'm trying to make something up. Get off my back.
I feel like I'm living an episode or the movie Mallrats. I'm living in the movie Mallrats now, and they're making their comic book debates with Stan Lee.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Jane Foster Thor, I will touch on the last thing of note that Taika Waititi brought up, and it's that somebody asked him about something, and then he said he was talking about what will make the Thor: Love and Thunder different from Ragnarok, and he said, quote, Thor: Love and Thunder makes Ragnarok seem really run-of-the-mill, a very safe film. There's a lot in it, a lot of set pieces. This film feels like we asked a bunch of 10-year-olds what should be in the movie and just said yes to every single thing. And he said the combination of things as well, and some of the stuff from the comics, like space sharks. If you look up space sharks, you'll get a good idea of what this movie is.
Dustin, do we have a clip of space sharks? Please tell me you do.
So,
here.
Look at his smile. Of course he does.
It's the trailer. It's the trailer. So it's a little.
So a couple things about space sharks. Obviously, that sounds like a joke, but there actually could be a lot of truth to it because space sharks do feature in the Thor comics, that are inspiring the new movie, the Jason Aaron Thor run. And they're more in there as just kind of like a cool, fun enemy for Thor to have. Because what's cooler than a space shark, right? Actually, I believe they're officially called star sharks. But a couple reasons that's interesting is because, one, it does acknowledge the source material, that he actually is pulling from that comic book, and that's a little detail that if you didn't actually read it, he wouldn't know about. So he is a fan of the material, and I think he's going to do a really good job adapting it because he loves all the little things about it. But also, funny enough, those Star Sharks debuted in Uncanny X-Men. They were a Chris Claremont creation. So, in a way, we're getting X-Men villains in the next Thor movie.
Wait, are you telling me space sharks are an X-Men villain?
Wait.
Yes, they first showed up in Uncanny X-Men back in the day.
Was it part of the Dark Phoenix saga or something?
I don't think it was Dark Phoenix, no.
Because that's how they introduced space really into the line of X-Men storytelling, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Justin, I don't know if they're going to show space sharks in this trailer for Sharknado.
I can't just pull something that's exclusive to another site, Jeremy, which is the
I think they were saving that one for the big reveal. If you guys don't know, the big reveal of Sharknado 3.
There's a shark in space.
That's the name of the movie. Oh, here it is. Sharks in Space.
Oh my God, he's so excited.
Blinking, you miss it. Hang on.
Wait, so I saw the first Sharknado.
You're good.
I didn't know there was a second one.
This
and now
is
there's
the
gonna
third
be a third.
one. I got so excited when headphones came off.
Oh my God.
Look, here's
Mr.
a roll.
Ocean Style says, is that Neo?
Here's something you need to know about horror movies is by the third or fourth sequel, you have to go to space. It's a law. So, nobody is above the law as far as this goes. If you're a leprechaun, if you're a Hellraiser, if you're Jason, eventually you're going to have to go to space, even if you're a Sharknado.
I don't know, man. By the time you go to space,
rules, man.
By the time you go to space, I think you've really jumped the shark.
Oh,
Stop! Get out!
I don't
Get
like
out!
that.
Get out! I don't. Get out.
Can we end this early?
We can go to the next story.
Oh wait, one more
Fortnite
thing.
says that I'm a space shark truther. That's right.
I will say that I think you can still go back and watch this live stream. It actually is very funny and entertaining. But one of the best jokes is that while Taika Waititi's trying to show us some like concept art, he like accidentally showed a page from the script from Thor: Love and Thunder, and it has Tony Stark coming back to life, and
Oh, that's a joke.
and
right?
and he's trying to recruit Thor to help fight an also resurrected Thanos on a new team called the Avenger Words.
Oh, hey, Joshua, we totally forgot something.
What?
Captain America had Mjolnir in Endgame at the end. Remember, he was like
And
wielding
then
it?
Oh,
he,
yeah,
he put it
like-
back.
Where did he get it? Do you remember? I don't
He
remember.
put it. Where'd he get it? There's a whole plot
was-
where they go back in
What?
time and Thor gets it
Oh, yeah, it's not the original one that
Where-
got smashed. It's like one from somewhere else,
IGN's
right?
fake
from
nerds.
earlier.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes
and
back.
then-
His mom hangs
but
out
Cap-
with him. His mom's like, "Get your
Cap
shit
put it
together."
back at the end. So
Wait,
So that's
did he?
probably where Jane Foster's going to get it from.
no, Captain America put it back.
Cap didn't put back Mjolnir.
Yes,
did
he did.
I thought he just put back the stones. and
No,
then stayed.
we had a suitcase and Mjolnir, and he went back in time.
Okay.
We got to get
I
our
missed
facts
that.
straight, everybody.
That's what Joshua.
That's what I'm here for. I'm glad you brought me on.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Talk
somebody
about
in chat
Animal
said,
Crossing, so I can be quiet.
Stormbringer 3R77 said the Vision is worthy. The Vision picked it up. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you think that the Vision should have been able to pick up Mjolnir?
He's literally an Infinity Stone.
Synthetic. Yeah, but he's like a synthetic creation. Like, what did he ever do?
He is an Infinity Stone.
Talk about being born on third, man.
Which
You
one
get
is
built
he?
as a living Infinity Stone.
It's
I
the
don't
Mind
know.
Stone, right, Joshua?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why.
I'm still
He's-
upset about that.
So if I'm holding an Infinity Stone in one hand, I can pick up Mjolnir
No.
in the other,
No.
even if I'm not worthy.
Listen.
I don't
That's
think
not
so.
enough. What makes Vision worthy?
Vision
He's
is
a,
a
damn
child.
robot. He's a talking Roomba.
But isn't he? Oh my God, that's so rude. I just said I'm upset about his death, and you're just like, oh, he's a Roomba. Thanks,
He's not a
Jeremy, for
Roomba.
being
He's a
sensitive.
damn robot.
God.
He's a he is
Robots
synthetic.
are nothing but trouble. If you've played Mass Effect,
He's not
You
a
know.
robot.
robots are nothing but trouble.
He is
Have you
a
watched-
synthezoid. Okay, so he has the same body makeup as you or I, but it's just made of
You've
fake
seen
parts.
one, you've seen them all.
And-
Ultron.
and he has a soul,
Bad
and
news.
he
Vision.
got his morality
Ticking
from
time
he got the
bomb.
best parts of Bruce Banner and Tony Stark, and that's why he's like the pure. He's their the best parts of them with none of their flaws, right? Which is why he's like pure of heart and he's a good person at heart, and why he could
Yeah.
lift Mjolnir.
And Fire Native brings up a good point. If you picked up an Infinity Stone, you would vaporize. So there, Jeremy.
Yeah,
You don't know
Jeremy,
me. I might be able to pick one up.
get vaporized.
Was that every Infinity Stone or just the Power Stone?
Well, like
That's-
the,
yeah,
you,
that's
ha-
all
you
every
have to
single
have it
one.
in the glove, or you straight up die. There wasn't
Or
the only
you
one
have
that
to
ever
have
picked it up in
something
the
encasing
movie.
it.
Well,
You
the
can pick
guy
up
who's a
Tesseract.
god from
People are just throwing the Tesseract around.
But you can't just
all over the
touch
damn
it. The
place.
Well, his
It's in
Tesseract
Tesseract
caps.
is in a case.
yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe we're having an argument about this. But yeah, you can't just touch it. You gotta have the protective case. It's like a brand new phone, you know. You don't.
It's like it's like a new phone.
Wizard of Oz says we need to watch Endgame again.
One of us
watch it again.
I
do.
think so.
Let's
I
do
got-
it.
I got-
Impromptu
fixated
watch
on that.
along. Let's go right now. Turn it on.
I got fixated on the part where Hawkeye and Black Widow are playing "Take Me Instead" for like 15 minutes, and Red
Oh.
Skull's sitting there just like he's like
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at his watch, like, "You guys gonna like? Why am I even here?"
That's
No,
a good question.
I'm a bad friend. Take me instead. No, me. I
God,
did
that was-
cigarette. in
did
your
you
mom's
see-
basement. Take
wait.
me instead.
Did you see the alternate scene though? The alternate fight scene for it?
No.
Josh, did you see it?
I actually didn't, but I heard about it. Was
I'm
it
so
better?
mad at you.
Why was it better?
It was so good. Like, it was really dramatic. There was heavy fighting going on. Like, I understand that they probably needed to build up the story a little bit more, so that would have taken on more screen time. If you guys have the chance, you should watch it. And I'm sorry, Dustin, I know you don't have the B-roll for it, but seriously, it's very dramatic. It's really emotional because they take the time to actually put like emotion into the scene, as opposed to being like, I'm gonna go, no me, no me. Instead of that, it's actual like, there's weight to the scene. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but it's really good. Like,
Your Highness says that Hawkeye held the Soul Stone. If Hawkeye can hold a stone, I can hold a stone. That's all I'm saying.
I got to fact check that. I don't know. Sort of an offshoot question. Joshua, Taika also did that vampire show that's being picked up by FX as its own series with new actors, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we already got the first season of that, and the second season is debuting. It's What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
And I believe he's just on as some sort of, is he even attached to the show? At best, he's probably like a creative producer.
I don't know. I keep seeing
he's not in the show.
Oh, okay. I keep seeing ads for it, and Mike Aransky like borrowed me that movie once, and I watched it, and it's awesome. I can't remember the name of the show it's based off of though. But if you like Taika,
What We Do in the Shadows. Yeah,
that's the name of the movie.
The movie and the show. It's What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, go watch the movie at least. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I heard the show's great. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah.
You guys, we got to talk about one more thing before we move on. We're going to talk about this Love and Thunder for like a half an hour.
Well, you were worried we wouldn't have content.
Christian Bale is going to be playing Gore the God Butcher, right? For sure, right?
No.
No? Well, who else is he going to be?
Well, they haven't said.
Horseface man.
There's one rumor says he'll be Dario Agger, whatever. He's
What the
the
hell
Minotaur.
is that?
He's the
That's
Minotaur,
stupid.
and he's head of like Roxxon, which is like their like kind of big oil or big evil corporation.
Big
in the Marvel
space
universe.
oil? What are you talking about, Joshua?
Hey, it'd be pretty timely.
Oh my god.
It's
Make
not
him
in
Gore the
space.
God Butcher or make him Ares, man.
Ares would be cool.
I don't think they're going to make him Beta Ray Bill. They're not going to take
Beta
Ray Bill.
Beta.
Bill Jeremy.
Beta. Is that a word? Beta what?
They're not going to put
That'll
that
work.
amount of like makeup and CG on Christian Bale. Like, why would you do that? That's crazy.
Well, it's
I
like
would
when
be down for Gore the God Butcher, but the one problem with that is they kind of gave his dark magic weapon aesthetic to Hela, and that's even in like the bonus features. If you go watch Ragnarok Blu-ray, they say, "Oh, we really liked Gore's whole shtick, so we gave it to Hela." So we can't do that again.
Mm-hmm. I like it when you get this big actor and then you cover him up with CG so you don't even know it's him, and then you're kind of surprised later. I love it when South Park got Jerry Seinfeld and they had him do the turkey gobble for the whole episode.
What? Oh my god.
Like when you cast somebody really big and then you put them in sort of a role that challenges them as an actor. I don't know. I like that.
Like Vin Diesel is Groot.
Yeah. Like I find that funny. I don't know.
that was him?
Yeah, that's Vin Diesel.
You know, a fun fact about that is that he records each individual "I am Groot" as a standalone line. Like they didn't because you'd think he could just go and say like, "I am Groot." We done here? Okay, goodbye. But no, he has like a specific one for every line where he tries to put the specific intonation of the "I am Groot" into there. Acting, everyone.
Jeremy, we do have time for another story. Which one do you want to do?
Let's try to squeeze in a couple real quick because we have like 3 big ones we didn't talk about. One,
Okay.
yeah, one is Animal Crossing is disappearing from stores in China. Have you guys heard about this?
Yeah, we did an IGN Now on it, Jeremy.
I didn't actually know this, but there are only 3 games that are officially available in China for the Switch.
3?
Yeah, isn't that
so
crazy?
Weird. That's really weird. Like, what's the point of buying a Switch over there then?
I don't know.
Which 3?
I mean,
Zelda. What else?
Things are very, 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 very censored there. So it's actually Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey, and New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. Mario is nothing if not incredibly inoffensive. But apparently Animal Crossing is. And the reason why is a lot to do with the fact that it is online and it allows you to make custom designs. And so after seeing what happened with the whole Hearthstone thing, I think you can probably imagine that this is related to Hong Kong. So what people are doing is either one of 2 things. They're either criticizing the president. Is it the president or the prime minister? Correct me if I'm wrong here. Anybody know?
She.
Uh,
She. I think it's prime minister.
Yeah. It's,
No, president, right?
Yeah, it's president, right? Xi Jinping
Yeah.
criticizing him or talking about freeing Hong Kong is obviously not allowed, right? So what people are doing is they're creating designs that you would see in the game when you go and visit this island, or they're like sharing photos of it, and that is like absolutely against the rules. So it's been like removed from a lot of stores where you could buy this game. So how it kind of works in China is, there's those 3 games that I mentioned that are officially available, and then other titles, select titles, are available through approved third-party sellers like I don't know how to pronounce this, but Pinduo and Taobao, I think it's how you say it.
Pretty close.
Yeah, so those 2 have pulled Animal Crossing from the stores, and I guess I'm starting to wonder, like, at what point do they just start cracking down on video games generally? Because so many of them are online right now, and so many of them allow this level of customization. How do you police that in 2020?
In China?
Yeah.
I've been to China. They have a huge video game market, especially for PC. League of Legends is huge. Dota's huge over there.
Sure.
They have a ton of like internet cafes. But yeah, I mean, they are more restrictive with pictures. Apparently, that seems to be the main thing that they're concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
you can customize like banners and stuff in the game, and I think what a lot of people were doing were like putting pictures, like they were putting up anti-government posters in the game by drawing it on the floors and the ground. So the thing is, in the game, when you fly to someone else's island, you fly above their whole island, so you can see this poster that people have put. So I think that's kind of what they had an issue with, which makes me wonder, like, have they probably blocked Minecraft then, right? Because that's a huge game with customization that they could do anything they wanted with.
Yeah,
So
Jay Kristoff actually says they have workarounds with VPNs to play more of the games and get around them. But China, about 2 years ago, did a major crackdown on VPNs, and it's actually harder than ever to utilize them in China. When I was there, I had to use a VPN to use like Google. You don't realize how much you rely on all the things that you have until you go somewhere where it's all locked down. It's really, really kind of nerve-wracking.
When were you there?
I was there 4 or 5 years ago.
And I can sort of answer your question about Minecraft. So there's actually like a different version of Minecraft sort of in China called Minecraft China Edition. That probably has like a few restrictions on it that wouldn't be present in our version, and that's done in partnership with a company called NetEase, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, NetEase is a huge company over there.
Yeah, so there are workarounds for a lot of this stuff, and obviously it's not as much of an issue for games where you don't have tools to create and share unique assets and designs and like photo share that and all that kind of stuff like you can do on Animal Crossing or on Minecraft. It's just a little crazy to see. Like, I never thought I would see Animal Crossing and politics in the same sentence. I got to tell you that.
Yeah. Because it's such a wholesome game. It's such a like escape from reality, but then they make that their own reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. We live in a really weird timeline.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that weird if you think about how many people are using Animal Crossing to sort of cope with the cabin fever, and the lack of direct social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like the perfect game for the perfect time right now.
Yeah, it is.
In a weird way, and so it kind of bums me out to think that it might be unavailable in some places when it provides so much happiness to so many people for various reasons elsewhere.
Yeah. You play it, right, Jeremy? I think you play it with your kids.
Yeah. I have a 4-year-old daughter who plays it with me. We each have our own little characters.
Aw.
Yeah, it's really fun. She's like learning how to play games. She wants to be a gamer with a capital G. She wants to wear some sweet blue light blocking shades.
Okay.
Do the whole thing. Maybe eat some gamer fuel.
No.
We'll see where this goes. We don't know.
All right. Yes. Okay.
yeah, I mean, any thoughts on that, or do you want to just like kind of jump into another story?
Well, we got 6
On your
minutes
daughter
left,
becoming a
so-
gamer with the capital G, or do you mean the previous story?
The previous story.
China
I think
should-
we pretty much talked about it. It's just it's just incredibly oppressive, and I don't know. I hope people find a workaround around it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we covered a story recently where Minecraft was recreating books and articles, op-eds that were critical of like governments or stuff like that, and like making them available in game.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Jeremy. I didn't come prepped to talk about Chinese foreign policy, so I'm opting to move on to the next story.
Let's talk about Fortnite and Quibi.
Destin's favorite game.
Yeah, Fortnite's going to start airing Quibi shows at Risky Reels. I think they're doing it today, actually. They're showing every hour on the hour Punked in-game at Risky Reels.
So they want
So
people
weird.
to stop going there? Is that what's going on?
I don't get it. Like, does that mean they're gonna stop fighting in that area so that people can just hang out? Or
I don't know how they're going to make that work. Like, I wasn't there for the Star Wars thing, but you were, Scylla. Like, what was that like? How'd that work?
You could still kill each other.
You could?
Yeah.
For a while, yeah. But then a countdown timers happened, and then you couldn't kill each other anymore. So, but of course, people will take any opportunity they can to be toxic. So, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work. You said this is going to happen every hour.
Yeah, so as I understand it, every hour on the hour, they're going to show a grouping of episodes. You know, the whole thing about like Quibi is that they're like really short form episodes, and they have rebooted Punked with Chance the Rapper. You know, the Ashton Kutcher show from MTV back in the day.
Yeah.
It was pranking celebrities, and basically you can just sit there and watch it on the screen. I would imagine they just like string several of the episodes together. I don't know if they're showing ads in between or anything. We'll have to log in and see. But it's just a really weird fit, I think. Like
it is really
I really wonder how
strange.
much they're spending on that, because that can't be cheap to do.
No, it makes me also wonder, like, is it going to be a separate mode that they have this in? Because then how is that going to work in a battle royale? For an hour, they're going to be showing an episode in there. And if they keep that area from people being able to, like, injure each other, then how long is that one game in that one server going to go for? I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm not going to seek it out. It's not something that I'm interested in.
They're not going to make it so you can't hurt people. You'll still be able to hurt people. It's just going to be probably going in the background, and it's in-game marketing, right? So
I guess it's so stupid though. Like,
yeah, okay. Well, like, it's stupid, but here's what probably happened. Being involved with the sales caller too. Hey, we got this great idea. You know what you did with Star Wars? Do that, but for Quibi. We want our show in Fortnite every hour on the hour. It's going to be great. And they're like, sure, that'll be $40 million. And they're like, you got it. Here's $40 million.
Quibi is just setting $1 billion on fire right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's like any price that's too high for them. You know, we're seeing just a lot of advertising from them. It's a weird time to be launching something like this. They're like, hey, here's something you can watch on your phone while you're on the go on your busy day, like out commuting or whatever. You know, and then turns out we're sitting here like 6 feet away from our flat screen television for weeks on end.
How long this is going to go on for? Like, is this every day until like the end of the month, or
The next
is
5
it like
years.
a week? Oh God. No, seriously.
No, I don't know.
please don't leave it on that. I don't know, because I feel like if they did it like if they made it a weekly thing and like a specific time, then that would be a better event, because then it would actually be like a Fortnite event, like a traditional thing, like how it was with the Star Wars thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like every hour on the hour, I feel like that makes it less special. I don't know.
I'm gonna go there. I'll go watch it in Fortnite. Who cares? You could
Okay.
probably.
I'm
you could
really
probably do it.
curious to see how that works.
What if you're in creative mode? You can still go there and watch it, right? So if you don't want to fight
don't
anybody
think
and just
so.
watch the shows for free, hop in Fortnite. I mean, it's good for Fortnite. Like, it's just free content for Fortnite, really, and they probably get a bunch of money with the collaboration.
Question: what if you're streaming? Won't you get a DMCA takedown for having that show on there? That like
No,
maybe you don't.
They control that. Like, the studio controls that, and they can just say no. Like, don't do
Okay.
DMCAs for Fortnite-related videos.
Okay.
Yeah. Jeremy, we actually have a hard out at 5 because up at noon.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Shoot, well, we didn't even get to talk about Cyberpunk's DLC, so we'll have to like get back to that on a later show.
It's all right. Save it for Monday.
We were talking about way more important stuff like Chinese politics and Fortnite and Quibi. But you guys should know that coming up next, right here on this very channel, on Twitch and on Mixer and on YouTube, is going to be Up at Noon with Max and Brian doing a live show, an hour show. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be super funny. And we're going to have to say goodbye to you so we can move on to that. But thank you for watching today, and thank you for joining us. As always, it's been a pleasure. I'm your pal, Jeremy.
I'm Destin. Stella.
I'm Stella.
It's Joshua.
Joshua.
Thanks for joining us, Joshua. We'll get the hang of this. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. See you now.